Good morning. It's been about a week since my last Course in Miracles message. Many of you probably saw on Facebook or Instagram. My brother and I, Kurt, were in Philadelphia. We do a brother's road trip to a Vikings game, and we went to the city of brotherly love. And today I'm going to be talking about love, and I have a couple stories on love and what we think love is and what God actually does for love, which seemingly is much better. First, let's talk about going to that Vikings game. So going into that, we heard all these stories like if you wear purple, you're pretty much going to get beat up or it's going to be really bad. And we talked about it and we decided to wear our purple. And of course, we're walking on the streets and some people do like shout out their window of their car, get out of here, or F you, or flick us off or something, which doesn't bother me, although I know it would probably bother some people. Nobody's super in your face about it. And then of course some people are like, yeah, I like the Cowboys, go Vikings, or I like, the Giants, go Vikings. So that we had some of that, which is good. And then obviously a lot of people don't really care that much about football. And then say fast forward to like game. Oh, actually the day before the game, we went to the Phillies game and somebody said something while we're in line to get some food. And my brother Kurt started talking to him. They ended up, he got that guy's number and we went to tailgate with him the night before. So we actually had nice Philadelphia people that invited us to tailgate with them. Now, walking to that tailgate with our purple when everybody else, 99.9% of people had green on, we got a little bit, more heckled and that kind of stuff. But Kurt and I are fine with it. And again, talking about love and brotherly love, I don't know that those fans are super loving, but what we found, and Kurt is very, very good at this, once you start just talking with them, then everybody's fine. It's all good. It's almost like what I've been talking about in some of the videos. Love casts out fear. Like a lot of people tried to put fear in us going to Philadelphia. And it's like, if you just are kind or engage with somebody, they're like, oh, okay, fine. We'll just talk to you and be nice. I guess you're not that bad. So that's a slight example of it. And then we did see a couple examples of where Vikings fans kind of got into it with Philadelphia people and went back and forth and got interesting. And then another example of love, like Lucas, my youngest son, I'm kind of hard on him. I've been very, very hard probably on like basketball to really get him going, make sure he's putting in the work, pushing him. And this year, one of the things I thought he needed was to toughen up. We've talked about playing football in the past. I'm like, I might get hurt. So anyway, he went out for football. He ended up breaking a slight fracture in his hand at football practice a couple nights ago when I was gone, like literally Thursday night in Philadelphia. And it kind of hurt. And then yesterday got home and we took him in and then got x-rays and he has a broken bone in his hand. And like I was saying, I wanted him to toughen up. I thought, football would toughen up, but we never got far enough into it to know if it toughened him up or not. But in general, I feel like I have to push him a lot to get him better. Like people need accountability to be better at what they need to be. Last episode, if you remember, I talked about A Course in Miracles required course, but the time you put into it is voluntary. And a lot of the time people put into things or other things, not learning the things of God, the ways of God, and the ways of living in the kingdom of heaven. We do other things, and that's very common. And like I said, with Lucas, obviously he's my son. I love him. I want the best for him. As a kid, you don't know to get good at something how much effort you have to put in. And he's obviously got to want it. And then when they get hurt, you're disappointed. But also where I'm at now, I'm in the mode of, you know what? Good things happen even when something is negative. So right away this morning, he was out shooting hoops with his left hand and working on left hand moves. And what I'm trying to get at, which I would like to explain this better than I am now, but I'm on a live video that gets recorded to the podcast, is I have pushed him really hard. And I think if I look back at it, I would do it slightly differently, meaning I'd still push him, but do it in a little bit different manner, demeanor. Because like sometimes I feel like I'm almost manipulating him into getting him to do extra work. And that's where I'm getting to in this video. And a lot of love in the worldly way is manipulation or requiring somebody to do something, like persons in a relationship, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, I don't know, father, son, obviously, are like, well, I'm mad at you if you don't do things the way I want you to, or boy, I'm disappointed in you because you aren't the way you're like I would like you to be, or if you did things this way, my life would be better. That's a lot of what love is, and that's not really love. Now, obviously, I love my son and I push him, but I would do things differently, is what I'm saying, and I'm making adjustments now, and we'll see how it goes. And then you may know from any relationship you have currently or in the past that a lot of times somebody's disappointed because you're not the way they want you to be. But when it comes to God, God doesn't require you to be any different than who you are. God loves you how you are, loves you in all your failings, all your faults, all your dumb things you do, or whatever the right thing to say is, and is just waiting for your correction to enter in the kingdom of heaven like living. That you are a created being, that you are meant for purpose and plan, and that there's nothing required. A lot of religion always made it sound like it's required. You got to do all these things to meet up to God's level. And then people are like, I don't meet up to any of God's level, so I guess I'm not qualified. You are qualified. You're more than qualified. God loves you how you are, where you're at, how you've been. And you just have to come, like show up, like enter in. You're always welcome. And that's a good thing about God's love. Probably the best thing. So no matter what's going on, any setbacks, any disappointments, people disappointing you, you disappointing them, you can correct that by understanding God's love receives you in just how you are, and all your failings, faults, errors, whatever it is. So that is the great thing about God's love. And we, living in this world, knowing how we operate in our ways of loving others and being loved, still plenty of time to make the correction. Try to be more like how God does it, less like how the world does it, and enter into that kingdom living, that love of God living. So have a blessed weekend. Wanted to get that off to you. Survive the city of brotherly love. Philadelphia people aren't that bad. Vikings would not turn the ball over 4 times. That'd be better, but it is what it is. We still had fun. And thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon.